First, I would love it if we could get out of the habit of calling this workman's compensation. It's actually workers' compensation, and it has been for years and years, but I still sometimes hear that old phrase hanging on for dear life. Okay, enough of that particular rant. Back to workers' compensation. What is it? Do you have to have it? And if so, why? Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. So, workers' compensation, what is it? It's a type of insurance coverage that takes care of the costs associated with work-related injuries or illnesses. For example, Sandy is sitting there at her desk working away. Then, all of a sudden, one of the wheels on her chair falls off and Sandy finds herself smack on the floor. By the way, if you're wondering, yes, I've been Sandy before, and it was not fun. So there's Sandy hitting the floor with a thud and probably landing on her coccyx. And yes, I just went all medical term on you there. She probably jarred her spine and her neck might even be out of whack. In a phrase, Sandy hurt herself. So you're thinking, wouldn't my business liability insurance take care of this? Well, no, because Sandy is an employee and she hurt herself in the course of doing her work. And in addition to possible medical bills, Sandy will probably have to spend some time off work trying to mend, so she'll have lost wages too. And that's where workers' compensation comes in. It covers both medical expenses and lost wages due to work-related injury or illness. All California employers are required to carry workers' compensation insurance. I'll say that again. All California employers are required to carry workers' compensation insurance. If you have an employee, even one employee, you have to have workers' comp. There isn't a workaround. There aren't any exceptions. If the worker is a worker and not an owner, then you have to carry workers' comp insurance on them. If they're a family member, you need workers' comp. If you hired them to work for you temporarily, you need workers' comp. If they work off-site, you need workers' comp. In fact, if there isn't a site at all, you still need workers' comp. I'm serious. The authorities will not be accommodating on this. Carry workers' comp or get fined or maybe sued. Those are the choices. And what can I say? I don't like those odds. In fact, in California, if you don't carry workers' comp insurance, it's considered a criminal offense. That's right, criminal. That means you could be fined and even go to jail. Nope, I don't like those odds at all. Now, for those of you outside of California, your requirements may be different. For instance, in Alabama, you don't need workers' comp if you have less than 5 employees. So definitely check with your state's labor department. So, how do you get it? How much will it cost? And what do you need to do once you have it? Well, you get it by talking to your business insurance broker. Now, if you're with a big national payroll provider, they may try to bundle it into your services. But it's far better to talk to your broker because they won't charge you anything and they'll search for the best rates available for your particular situation instead of throwing you into a box and simply charging you the standard rate. Which brings me to cost. Workers' compensation insurance is priced based on a number of things. First off, what are the job responsibilities in your company? And that makes sense. The rate for someone who's a salesperson, always on the go, out in the world, taking planes, trains, and automobiles, well, that rate will be a lot higher than the rate for the receptionist who comes in, sits at the same desk every day, and doesn't have to drive down the freeway to a different county to do his job. So, job responsibilities and title are one factor. Another is the person's wage rate. Again, this makes sense. If workers' compensation insurance covers not only medical bills, but lost wages as well, the higher the wages, the more the insurance company may have to pay out. And since in California, you're entitled to 2/3 of your pre-tax gross wages, well, that can quickly add up. The location of your business can also play a role in setting your workers' comp rate. It has to do with lawsuits and the likelihood that you'll be involved in one. An employer in Los Angeles, California is far more likely to get sued than an employer in Lodi, California. And the final factor is your company's experience. It's called an XMOD, or experience modification rate. This speaks to how many accidents or workers' comp cases you've had in the past. Basically, the insurance company is trying to figure out if you're a good risk. The more cases, the worse the risk. There are other factors insurance companies consider also, but these are by far the biggest factors influencing your premium rates. What next? You've signed on the dotted line, and you are now the proud owner of a brand new workers' comp insurance policy. Now what do? Just wait for someone to get hurt and then everything starts? Well, not quite. First, there are a number of notices you have to give your employees to let them know you're covered. Generally, you'll get what's called an administrative guidebook with your policy, and it'll give you lots of great information, like how to file a claim, the forms you'll need, information on clinics in your area that are associated with the insurance carrier. You'll also need to fill out the workers' comp section of your workplace posters and the wage theft notice. That's part of the new hire package. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the episode on what goes in the new hire package. But what if someone gets hurt? Well, if you find yourself in the unfortunate situation where an employee has hurt themselves, task number 1 is to get them medical help if they need it. Of course, if it's an urgent or emerging situation, call 911 immediately. But if they're well enough to get around and need or want to be seen by a doctor, that's where the MPN, or Medical Provider Network, comes in. Now, an MPN is a list of doctors and clinics that are part of the workers' comp network. So you can send your employee to the closest one and they can get the help that they need. Now, depending on your state, your employee may be required to see a workers' comp doctor versus their own physician. In some states, the employee has the option of designating their personal doctor for workers' comp situations, but they have to do that in advance. It's called a pre-designation, and we have it here in California. In fact, the pre-designation forms are part of the new hire package documents. So be sure to check the guidelines for your state. Then immediately begin the workers' comp filing process. Again, in California, that involves giving the employee information on the insurance company and policy, gathering information on what happened, and filing a claim with the insurance company. Some of these pieces have time deadlines attached to them, so be sure you know what you need to do and how much time you have to do it. And don't forget, the administrative guide can really help you out with this. It usually includes a step-by-step overview of your responsibilities. Now, once you've filed, let the insurance company take it from there. They'll deal directly with the employee on upcoming doctor's visits and next steps, etc. And your HR rep should also stay in touch with the insurance representative so that they are aware of where the case is in the process and any work restrictions that may be put in place. Another thing to keep in mind, when a case is opened with the insurance company, they usually put a special amount of money aside for paying that claim. Now, how much goes into reserves is determined by the claims adjuster. And the reason you want to stay on top of the reserves is because it can impact your experience modification, and that will impact your premium rate. So it's a good idea to check on a regular basis just to be sure there aren't any excess funds in the reserves for closed cases. So make sure you have workers' comp insurance. And by the way, send Sandy a Get Well Soon card. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And if you're struggling with how to get your business off the ground and what comes next, check out the Leader's Journey Business Builder. I designed this completely free video series to help you with figuring out who your customer is and where to find her, how to sell without selling, how to package and deliver your service, and much, much more. Check it out by using the link leadersjourneyexperience.com. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.